NATURALLYMARKED here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, I see you, see me, so I want to see you. Press subscribe and become part of the fam. Bam. So you guys, we're gonna hop right into this video today. Today's video is going to be 5 things or 5 ways that you can tell if your hair is not healthy. If your hair is unhealthy, these 5 things should help you if you're not for sure or not if it's healthy, or if you're kind of on the border like, oh, is it healthy or is it not healthy? This should help you, girl. So the first way is if your hair is beyond brittle. If your hair almost feels like straw, or if you kind of touch it and your hair breaks off in these like little short pieces, your hair is unhealthy. Now this means that you could either be doing a lot of things to your hair that's making your hair brittle, not doing enough deep conditioner treatments, not doing enough protein treatments, not doing enough wash days, not doing enough watering your hair. Yes, I said watering your hair like it's a plant, but your hair just being brittle is a sign of it being unhealthy. But brittle hair is not an be all end all. Like, you can literally bounce back if you have brittle hair. Like, all you need to do is just figure out what you're not doing to your hair and start doing it to your hair to make your hair flourish. So brittle hair is not just like oh my gosh, like I can't fix this, I'm gonna have to do the big chop or do something else dramatic to get healthy hair. Like, you can reverse brittle hair, but it's gonna take time, work, and effort to fix brittle hair. You have to know what you're doing to it and to reverse that and start doing something nice to your hair to make it not brittle. So the second way of knowing that if your hair is unhealthy is thin ends. Your thin ends is almost a reflection of brittle hair, because if your hair is brittle, that means that it's breaking off. So if your hair is thin and you can see through the ends of your hair, that means that your hair is breaking off, which means that your hair is unhealthy. And thin ends is not a be all end all, but if you care to have fuller ends, to cut where the thinning is and then make sure what's coming out of your hair is being retained, like the length and the thickness is being retained, and make sure that if your ends is thinning, that you can start protecting your ends and then getting a frequent trim. This is the only time that I will promote a trimming, is if your ends is thin and you're trying to grow out your hair and you're doing some type of protective style to make sure that those ends are protected and they're not getting damaged or unhealthy looking anymore. And then start cutting your hair a little bit more frequently to make sure that your hair is not splitting up the shaft, and then that's just gonna cause more problems. You can cut the thin ends, but just make sure whatever you're doing to your hair that's causing your ends to look raggedy, to stop doing those things. And I can't sit up here and say, oh, it's from you wearing your hair down or it's from you doing this. You have to figure out and listen to your hair and know what your hair do and don't like and what you're doing to cause your ends to thin. But that is the second way of knowing if your hair is unhealthy, is very thin ends. And it also could be dietary too. So it's just not you're doing this style or you're doing this style. It can also be nutrition that can be causing your hair to thin and kind of break off in certain areas. So just be mindful of that as well. So the next thing is almost still kind of following breakage, but it's thinning around the hairline and the nape of the hair. Now this could be unhealthy. Like, my hairline has gotten thinner, but my hair is not unhealthy. I had postpartum shedding, so now my hair is growing back, but then I put mini twist in my hair, and then I did make my ends or my edges unhealthy because I didn't take time to fully detangle my hair. And you guys could probably hear Maggie, but I didn't take time to fully detangle my hair, and I messed my postpartum edges up. My edges was already weak, so I guess that is a sign of being unhealthy. But my ends are weaker because of postpartum shedding, and then putting mini twist in my hair didn't help at all with my edges, and it just made it more weak. So if you have weak edges, your hair can be showing you that it's a sign of unhealthy, or you need to figure out if you, like I said, is a dietary thing, is a hormone thing. You need to figure out what's causing your edges to be thin, and then to reverse that. What I did to grow my edges was using castor oil, and then I actually made a DIY oil to help my hair stop shedding, and that's what I'm doing to try to grow. I thinned out a little bit more in this area when I took out my mini twist. That's what I'm doing to get my edges back again. But if you know your edges is really thin, it could be a couple of things like I just listed that could be the problem, or it could be the styles that's making your hair thin around the edges. So once again, you just have to stop doing what you're doing to get your hair healthy. So the next thing, which I've listed and said over and over and over and over and over again, is heat damage. If your hair is a lot limp-er, or your hair is limp, it's just not limp-er, it's limp. If your hair is limp, thin, if you're having breakage, if you are experiencing just a whole bunch of things to your hair, no edges on the side, like, you might want to see how much heat you're putting on your hair and how often you're putting it on your hair. Now, yes, you can mess up your hair by putting heat on your hair multiple times, but you can also mess up your hair one time with heat if the temperature is too high, but your hair is going to just fall straight out, especially if your hair turns white or like this brown color, because I've done that before too. Your hair is just going to straight fall out if your heat utensil is that hot. But heat damage is another form of way of unhealthy hair, and I've already made a video on heat trained hair and heat damaged hair. I'll leave that video down below for you guys. But if your hair is heat damaged, then it's really thin and it's probably lackluster, and you probably don't want your hair to look that way. So maybe take a break on the heat, and that could also repair your heat damaged hair and make your hair a lot healthier. The last thing that is kind of unhealthy, but is like to each his own, is perming your hair. I know a lot of people that have permed hair and it's healthy hair, but to each his own. Like I said, if you're wanting to put a chemical on your head and you don't care about like process this or chemical that, then the way that you view permed or relaxed hair, it's completely up to you. But for me, you can have healthy relaxed hair. Not saying that your hair will be broken off, not saying that it'll be thin, but just the process of the relaxer or the perm is unhealthy to your body. But you can have healthy relaxed hair. So I'm kind of in the middle with the relaxer, because a relaxer is really to each his own. So that one's up in the air. Let me know down in the comment section how you feel if a relaxer is unhealthy or healthy, because you can have healthy hair, but the process is unhealthy, if that makes sense. So those are my 5 ways to tell if your hair is unhealthy. If any of these things helped you guys, please leave comments down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.